There are two ways how we can run JavaScript file. One is the inside of the browser, and another one is the outside of the browser, not using a browser. So for running a JavaScript without the browser, what we need to do is we need to install the Node.js. So for that, let's go to the nodejs.org and download the long-term support version of the Node.js. In my case, I have already downloaded and installed that. And after downloading and installing, what we need to do is we need to verify that it's indeed installed. Let's go to our command line and run node version, and indeed it's installed. Besides that, we need to also verify that the npm is also installed. Let's verify that. And the npm is also installed. What is npm? npm is a node package manager. So in our project, we usually have many dependencies on other libraries, on other tools, and so on. So for that, we are using the npm to download and install all of those dependencies. Okay, now our Node.js is installed. So now we can run a JavaScript file outside of the browser. And for that, we need to also we need to choose the IDE that we are going to use. So there are several options. Personally, I prefer to use Visual Studio Code. So you can use any IDE of your choice. So for that, to download the Visual Studio, we need to go to the visualstudio.com download and download the Visual Studio of our. So we need to download the Visual Studio for our operating system. Now, in my case, I'm using macOS, so I have already downloaded and installed that. Now let's go to our IDE, and first, what we need to do is let's first run our JavaScript inside of our browser. To run the JavaScript inside of the browser, what we need to do is we need to have an HTML file, because what happens is when the browser opens the HTML file, it builds a DOM, and whenever it sees the script keyword, it runs the JavaScript file, right? Because within the JavaScript file, we can modify the DOM. That's the whole point of the JavaScript. So, and in our JavaScript file, what we do is first we are printing to the console hello from the JavaScript, and also we are modifying the background of our page, right? We are setting that to the light blue. So let's go and open our let's open our HTML file. So we are opening our HTML file, and as you can see here, we see hello world, and if we go to the console, in the console we can see that the hello from the JavaScript. As I said, we can the point of the JavaScript that when the DOM is built, right, when we are opening our HTML file, and we can modify the DOM in the runtime. So we can go ahead and for example, here in our JavaScript file, instead of light blue, we can set that to, for example, let's say light yellow, right? If we set that to light yellow, the color. So in our case, and if we set that to light yellow, and we go to our HTML file again, and let's refresh it, and let's go back to our light yellow, right? So let's save it. Okay, let's just overwrite, and let's save it, and let's go to our browser. If we update, as you can see, the color has changed, right? We modified the DOM using the JavaScript. That's the first, because what happens in the browser, that the browser reads the HTML, it builds the DOM, and if it sees the script, so it runs the JavaScript which is modifying the DOM. So that's the first version. So we are running the JavaScript. That's the main use of the JavaScript. We are running that inside of the browser. But what if we want to run that outside of the browser? So for that, we are using a Node.js. So we can run only this code, right? Start.js. So for that, let's comment this code, right? So let's comment this code, and let's just only print to the console hello from the JavaScript. So for that, we have two ways how we can do that. First one, we can go to the terminal and just type node start start.js, right? That's the first way, and that's the first way. Let's save it. That's the first way how we can do that. And another way, as you can see here, it's printed, right? It prints hello from the JavaScript, or we can simply use the run code, and it will do the same. So instead of using the node start.js, so we can simply run our JavaScript code with the run code in the IDE.